Show on Footmex Live.
Welcome to another edition of the Mexican Soccer Show on Footmex Live. I'm your host, Wiso Vazquez from FootmexSource.com, and with me, three individuals from different parts of the country coming together to discuss all things El Tri and the Mexican League. From Santa Cruz, California, and from a writer for ESPN FC and the Big Verde, Cesar Hernandez. How are you, sir?
Hello. Doing all right. About yourself, sir?
I am doing good. You looking good? Got that nice background there with all those soccer books.
Oh, that's a nice T-shirt too, right, Jason? Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, that brings us from Jason from New Jersey. Lived in Mexico City for many years, and he also runs Soccer Mexicana, which is that shirt that says at our house. How are you doing, Jason?
Fantastic. I'm fantastic. I'm very much looking forward to podcasting. So here we go.
It's video podcasting these days.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry, we get that.
Vlogging, podcasting, I don't know.
And from Tijuana and San Diego in the border for SoccerLeague.com, very passionate writer and El Tri fan. Meet Jonny Rico. How are you, Jonny?
I'm doing pretty good. Can't stay on either side of the border. I'm, just back and forth.
Back and forth from San Diego to Tijuana. His offices are in Tijuana, so he's usually staying up late there in Tijuana. Jonny, just let you know, your battery's all ready to go. Last show we missed you. You kind of left off in the middle of the show, so hopefully your battery is packed.
I got the computer's plugged in. Only question is, what kind of reaction does Jason get in New Jersey wearing that Mexico jersey?
Well, probably the same one I got while I was in Mexico. Just odd looks, like what is wrong with that guy kind of looks. But the neighborhood I'm in is a lot of Salvadorians, so it's not it's not super popular. So
well, it's not like Miguel.
I try to keep it to a minimum.
Yeah, Jason's like a Miguel Layun. He's like a Gringo Castro. He has that.
So I fashion myself.
Light complexion. All right, guys. Well, today we have an excellent show for you. 30 days from the World Cup, 1 month left. Some of the El Tri players are already with Miguel Herrera, especially Guardado, who's coming in. It's the first Euro that's there today. So we'll be discussing a little bit about El Tri, the list, and we will also be talking about the 7 that were the rejects for Miguel Herrera completing the 30-man roster. We'll also be talking about Fabulous Leon, as you can see, going into the final. What happened with Santos? What happened in the Mexican Liguilla that we have seen in the last week? And we'll close it off with any other thoughts on El Tri and the Mexican team. How are you guys doing? Ready to go?
Yeah, let's do this.
All right, let's do it. So 30 days, guys. I want to hear your reaction so far. We always talk about it. 36, 42, we're 1 month away. Now that you have that list, 23-man is finally there with Miguel Herrera, and it came out on Friday. I want to hear your thoughts. I know we had a special show on Friday night with Naive Moran and Todd Marshall, but you guys, so just kind of throw it off to you guys. 23 players are now called. They're starting to come in today. Someone will come next week, and obviously the Euro players will come in 3 or 4 days before the Israel game. So I'll throw it off to Jonny. Jonny, your reaction on the final 23?
Well, I put out an article on Soccer League that right after the list was put up. I think Mexico is in desperate need of leadership, but they're going to settle for experience. Some of the key battles that we were talking about without end before the list was announced. For example, the Guardado versus Ponce battle. I think Guardado's past experience is what won him the spot over Miguel Ponce's current form, because the only reason Guardado is coming in so early is because his team just have no use for him.
Exactly. We had that when we made our list last week, and we had Guardado versus Ponce. I think we went with Guardado. We went with Ponce because of his how he's playing right now. But the leadership is there. In the Nigeria game, Guardado did have a pretty good game. So maybe that's exactly why. He may
one game.
Yeah, he may not be playing, but it's
2 years.
Well,
you have to have that. You have to see him.
I don't see leadership from many of these players, but because there is such a big lack of leadership, I think Miguel Herrera is settling with experience.
So Guardado, Rafa,
Salcido. Maybe Salcido a little bit.
Yeah, Salcido brings in the experience, but None
not
of
a
those
leader.
guys are on-field leaders that can kind of turn the team around when things are going bad. Salcido was a key part in 2013 when everything was focused on the lack of leadership that Chepo de la Torre's team had.
And someone has said he didn't want to be captain, like because he wasn't like cut out for it. So
And something that I've said before was that when I've been at some of the practices for El Tri here in the U.S., and I've seen that usually someone out there that's being in leadership, and you mentioned it, Jonny, they're looking for that leadership piece, is Masa Rodriguez. I know, he's someone that hasn't been doing so well with the team and also with America, but I also think that Piojo did bring him in for that reason. In the locker room, he's always a person that's boisterous, and he's yelling at everyone if it's not for anything bad, or hopefully for something good. But yeah, the leadership that's there. Jason, what are your thoughts on the final 23? Didn't get a chance to talk to you, sir.
I mean, overall, it wasn't bad. Like there was nothing to be too upset about. I was pretty pleased with what Piojo did. There was no huge shocks. I was glad Gio made it. I was glad Fabian made it. Like those were the guys that if they were left out, that would have been pretty bummed out about. The only disappointing part was Ponce for me, but it wasn't. It's not life or death. I would actually have him in my starting 11, but Guardado, okay. There's an argument to be made there. So no great travesties, I guess, is my overall reaction.
All right, and Cesar, what about you, sir?
I think I heard the last bit of what Jason was saying there, but there's just a lot of relief for me. I think considering what could have happened and all the rumors that were flying around, I think it was a little scary, but no surprises. I am a little bit bummed out about Ponce, and I think after that whole TV Azteca, leaked report, I was a little hopeful that Ayala was going to be sneaking in. But I mean, even Guardado, we can make the case. He's, he may not be, the best player and whatnot, but he's going to be a backup. He's not. It's not like he's going to be as a starting left back. It's still going to be Layun who's going to be starting as a left wing back. And unless they decide to move Layun over to Aguilar's position on the right hand side, I can't see any serious problems. And even though I'm not a big fan of Massa, I can't imagine Piojo choosing Massa over Reyes at this point. So yeah, I have some problems, but they're backups, so I don't think it's anything too serious.
I think Guardado is going to be a starter. Looking at his in the Nigeria game, I know.
Really?
I know. I don't think he should be, but I think he is. I really think Piojo likes Guardado, and he likes what he brings, and his performance will get him in there. Look at the Nigeria game. And
Did we see the same game? Because I thought he had a horrible game against Nigeria.
Yeah, he did pretty good, I thought.
He came on at the end. I think he came on at the end. Like he started out pretty rough. But
I think we all had low expectations. He did all right,
maybe,
and that's my thought.
I think he wants the Guardado to be on that left side and is going to move over to Layun and have the other three: Moreno, Rafa, and Reyes.
I think that's definitely going to be the thing that one of the positions he's looking at in these late friendlies that we're going to see what Guardado looks like. I think there's going to be a big test, and how much he shows is going to be dependent upon that. I think he has a pretty good chance of becoming the starter if he does really show out well.
You guys want a big shock? There's Carlos Salcido. If there's not that much defensive responsibilities for Carlos Salcido to return because it's a 5-man line, why not put in Carlos Salcido to attack down that wing?
Yeah, and I think that's why we were talking about Carlos Salcido coming in. He fills in 3 different positions. That's why he's one of the backups. That's why he was called to the list, as he brings that leadership, that experience, and in that leadership he can play that defensive mid, he can play in the left, and he could also play in the center. So we'll see where he'll be putting out. For me, as the list going in, it wasn't anything I didn't expect. I mean, sure, I thought maybe Guardado was going to be left off. I knew Aquino was definitely going to be left off. I wrote a little article on FootMex Source, just kind of saying what you would be expecting the next day while reading your Twitter. Almost kind of like Cesar's little article that he wrote. It was funny.
Yeah, surprisingly similar. Yeah.
But I had pretty much every point there. I was surprised with Carlos Salcido. Nobody had Carlos Salcido in that list before, maybe a week before. I mean, he was pretty much off of it. Had a horrible season with Tigres, almost blaming El Tri because of how bad he did in there. I mean, he wasn't even a starter for Tigres. So I like the list. It's we said it in the last episode, a toda madre, just like he said. Maybe not go to that extent because we would like, obviously, Vela would have been a toda madre if he would have been on there. But yeah, so let's look at the people that were the 30, as you know, usually you give a 30-man list and then you have a camp in there and you're able to shorten it to 23, and then I think before June 2nd or June 3rd you have to have your 23 players. And a lot of coaches didn't do that this year. Scolari, for Brazil, had went out and said a day before, these are my 23. So we're seeing a lot of coaches doing that. Everyone thought Piojo was crazy because he wasn't naming 30. He wanted to go straight to 23 because he was left off the 94 squad. He didn't like that. But yeah, so the seven players that made the 30 list, but obviously didn't make the 23. Obviously, Moises Munoz, as everybody had that. Topo Valenzuela, Miguel Ponce, which is the big, probably the one of the players that should have been on that list that everyone thinks so too. Miguel Herrera from Pachuca. And if you remember when he did say, when he was cutting out the list, Tom said it, that he did say Miguel Herrera when he was looking for, he said Miguel Hector Herrera, so everyone was kind of a little bit confused. Javier Aquino made the 30. Jesus Escobosas for Santos, who's had a great season so far. And Aldo de Nigris and from Chivas.
I think that's it.
That's it, yeah. So those are the 7. So what are your thoughts on the 7 others? These are the 7s that in case, there's an injury, I'm not quite sure if anybody else can make it because these are the last 30. But Panini had it right, at least with Aldo de Nigris and Moises Munoz making it to the 30. So what are your thoughts on the other 7?
I mean, what is there really to say about those 7 right there? I mean, more than likely, unless someone gets seriously injured before the World Cup. I mean, even if someone were to get injured, it's 23 players, so you still have 12 substitutes. So I highly, highly, highly doubt that these names are going to be that relevant, maybe even like a week or 2 weeks from now. But yeah, I guess I don't know. Feel bad for Ponce. Just going back to you.
Any surprises that are on those 7? For example, Escobosa. I don't think anybody had Escobosa on their list.
I think he still kind of had a slim chance, though. I mean, I wouldn't put him on my starting lineup or on my even as a substitute. But I think he still had a slim chance. He's been doing very well. I think Miguel Herrera is kind of a surprise for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, I guess they're pretty straightforward.
Good.
Now, does this count as like a World Cup spot for a Chivas player now? Like, can we check that off?
Yeah.
Official, we're good.
It should, so we can say that for 80 years now, a Chivas player has been into the.
No, well, that's for now. Once the World Cup kicks off, then
it doesn't count. Okay. So they got a good couple weeks here.
Yeah.
Raúl Jiménez and Alan Pulido and Chicharito are going to have some surprise injuries, in a few weeks.
People did say, why is, Aldo de Nigris? I don't see anybody else, another forward that could have been in there. So I, as much as we love to say, there's really nobody else, and maybe that's what happens with the list. There is no one else that should be on that list that maybe is like this person has.
I'd take Jürgen Damm over Aldo de Nigris in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jürgen has been had a.
That's
But are we gonna take? Are we gonna take someone that he hasn't seen? I think that's what Miguel Herrera was like. I'm only taking one person, other than Salcido.
He hasn't seen. Yeah, I was about to say he hasn't seen Salcido.
I mean, Gallito Vazquez with 26 minutes in the national team made it. So we'll see where that goes. All right. Well, any final thoughts on the final 23, guys? No. All righty then. Well, the votes have been counted, and the winners have been declared for the Hyundai, its usual slogan for the bus that's going to be driving around in Brazil, which I'm trying to figure out if they're flying, how are the buses going to,
Maybe it's a bus boat.
Maybe they have like 3 or 4 buses in every one of those cities, but
they need to get to the hotel or from the airport to the stadium.
Yeah, but
hotel stadium.
I know this isn't a big deal, but I'm thinking logistic. All right, so if you're flying from Santos to Recife, the bus isn't going with you. So from the airport to Recife, they're driving the bus. Is that bus going to make a way track back to Santos, or go to the Fortaleza, or go to Natal?
They probably just slap a sticker on a bus, it's just a random bus.
The players are the ones that need to fly. Who cares about the bus driver?
No,
Bus
I'm not
driver.
saying that. I'm just saying that
That's
there are
very
8
classist,
buses
Johnny.
out there. We're going to get a bunch of responses. You idiot. They're just slapping stickers.
Screw those bus drivers.
Anyways, we have there was a competition, obviously, and our slogan, and every year there's a bus slogan that someone sponsors. This time it was Hyundai, I think last 2010 also. And Mexico's will be, drum roll, Siempre Unidos, Siempre Aztecas. What do you feel about that?
I voted for that one.
Did you really?
I did.
You actually voted.
I was probably the only one who voted. This is why we got it.
Did you
It
have
was
one of the
unanimous.
top things?
You were the only one that voted. So, how do you like it, Johnny?
It's marketing, it's sponsorship, it's that's what they do. I focus on soccer.
No, but this is a big deal. I mean, the
It's-
United States have united by
It's not that big
team,
of a deal, actually.
It's not
driven by passion.
I could, if Coca-Cola would have put out more money, the slogan could have been "Open Happiness."
Have it your way.
Yeah,
My favorite. I think
Going
the one
through
from like the French national team. I have it. It's going to say "impossible" is not a French word.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I give
No,
up.
Brazil. I mean, I thought ours was semi-okay compared to like Brazil. Brace yourselves. The 6th is coming. Literally, these guys
Terrifying.
voted for this. Argentina's not just a team; we're a country. Pretty much everyone is is a country. So that's kind of funny. I thought it was kind of hilarious that they put so much into it, and FIFA does so much for it to do that. But my ultimate favorite is Korea, with "Enjoy it, Reds." So it's
No,
not.
what about Holland has? I think it's like real men wear orange.
Oh yeah,
I
real
think
men
that's
wear
it.
orange.
Yeah,
And that.
I like South Korea. They're very realistic.
Enjoy it.
Yeah. While you're there.
While you're there, visit the. All right, guys. Well, we'll leave it at that. I don't know how the Maya people, down the Yucatan feel that everyone is always Azteca.
Until someone sponsors a show and gives us money, I'm not a big fan of marketing and
All right, guys. Well, any other L3 news that are out there, guys? 30 days. We're almost there. We'll be talking about our opponents, Croatia, and other shows, guys. So get ready for that. But I think that does it. So let's go into it. The Liga MX. Let's go into what happened in the last week. Obviously, Leon and Pachuca are in. Nobody had Leon and Pachuca anywhere near the finals. Especially Leon coming in, the panzazo, and that's why the panza verdes. The Esmeraldas has shocked everyone already, but it's not a surprise. It's kind of funny that it's shocking that they made it from the beginning, but not a surprise. Let's hear your thoughts on the past games that happened. Obviously, what happened with Santos, and with Leon and Pachuca now coming on. So, Johnny, I know you're a big expert on the Mexican league.
Well, you talk about the big surprise of Leon. How about Pachuca? They were 15 minutes away from being eliminated against Querétaro on that last week of play. But hey, Viva Mexico, Viva la Liga MX. The semifinal against Santos, Pachuca, I'm pretty happy for the outcome. Some might say I hold a grudge against Santos. Some for eliminating against America. But I'm glad to see a guy like Pedro Caixinha crash and burn.
Really did not like Caixinha.
Johnny, I think you tweeted like 8 times.
Yeah. It was kind of aggressive.
It's very aggressive.
The guy cannot take a loss. He looks for fights every time he loses, and against Pachuca was no exception. There's footage of him and Edner Valencia getting a bit of an argument, almost a fight. And yeah, this guy just is a sore loser. Can't take a loss. Always looking for a fight, and I'm glad a guy like that crashes and burns in the Liguilla.
Aside from the coaches crashing and burning, Santos.
What about Osvaldo? I guess he crashed and burned away too.
How did Santos? I don't know. I like good football, and I like watching it. And watching that match it was not a boring match. Every 10 minutes had something.
Yeah.
You know, had something going. Every 10 minutes, there was something new that was going to help the outcome of the match. And just watching it, you know, the red cards coming in, the scoring, and they were down. They needed 4 goals in like the last 20 minutes. And Santos was coming back and tied. And it looked like even the Santos fans, 3 goals behind, they still think that they could have done it. I mean, I was proud for those fans that kept cheering, kept going, knowing that you know, that could have done it. And Santos could have done it. The penalties came in, the 2 reds. I mean, it was a very exciting match, even though Santos needed 3 goals. They were there. I think at the end there was that last ball that came in, and it could have gone in, and finally the game was over. But it was exciting. Too bad Santos didn't get in. Even though I'm a Leon and obviously the Grupo Pachuca, I would have liked a Santos. I wanted a Santos Leon final. I thought it would be very interesting to see Peralta at his best in the final against Leon in the mid, and obviously the defense. So I was rooting for them. But Pachuca made it, and rightfully so. I mean, they did whatever they needed to do. Jason, what do you think about that the semifinal?
It was crazy. I still can't get over. Well, like I knew it was going to happen because as soon as the insane Oswaldo kick to Enter Valencia, he gets the red card, and then I just go on my rant about how terrible Oswaldo is, and how the backup keeper is going to be so much better, and he comes in with that unbelievable move to give up the goal. I've never seen anything like that. Like it was like a back heel pass to himself. Like just wow.
Like of all players to do it against too. Yeah.
Wow. Unbelievable. But I mean, those 2 games played out like I thought they'd play out. Like the Toluca Leon was tight. Toluca just couldn't get on the board, but I mean that both games could have gone either way. It doesn't really surprise me Leon got through. I mean, they were always going to be that sleeping giant coming into this Liguilla because they were not an 8 seed. I mean, they're coming in a strong team, so it doesn't surprise me that they stepped up and got through. And then Santos and Pachuca was just insane, and that's the way it played out. It's funny you got these 2 teams in the final now that both teams in one of the rounds advanced by away goals. So away goals playing a big role in the Liga, which I'm a huge fan of.
You love away goals.
Yes.
Well, I mean, from the Leon Toluca, Toluca with so many injuries throughout the tournament, especially at the end of the tournament, coming in, I was expecting a lot more. Especially Leon kept the tempo, kept going with obviously what they do, the Esmeralda tiki taka that I like to call it. Yeah, Leon. At the game with the Toluca,
They look much more organized at Toluca. It was almost like they were beating them in their own game. They were just they held possession. It was really impressive actually.
and finally Guliz Peña scores a beautiful.
What a way
goal.
to score!
Yeah.
I like Leon's playing style over the tiki taka. Tiki taka to me is synonymous with pointless passing around.
And
Leon
won the 2010 World Cup for Spain.
and actually Leon's system is to attack the opposing team's goal, and I enjoyed watching Leon play. I enjoy watching Toluca lose. That way they cannot get their 11th championship and join American Chivas. So that's a huge plus. And I think I'm going to be rooting for Leon in the final, so Pumas fans won't be able to claim the only back-to-back championships.
Yeah, there you go. Hugo Sanchez coming in.
It's still kind of crazy though how I don't know, Pachuca and Leon, even Leon, they almost missed out on the playoffs too. Like before their last game against Xolos, I think they only had 1 win in 6 or 7 games. And then they needed just so many things to go right in the last weekend in order to make it to the playoffs. And then it's just so, I don't know, it's kind of ridiculous to see that Pachuca and Leon, who are some of the last teams to make it in, ranked number 6 and number 8, to still be playing in the finals.
Yeah, but that's the whole point of the Liguilla. You come in anyway; it's anyone's game after the top 8. And it could go either good or bad. Something could go wrong. That the 8th seed could win the whole thing, but it was the champ from before that was making it. So, what about your prediction, guys? Pachuca. I mean, there's not really as much as I'm a Leon fan. I'm not too for sure that Leon. I think Leon just maybe has a slight edge because of their style. But who do you guys think will be the winner?
I think Leon. I'd have to favor them. I think they have a real home field advantage that Pachuca doesn't have. So I think that's a heads up, and I think they're going to be able to stifle Pachuca a little more than Santos or Pumas have in this Liga. So I think Leon is going to take us. I think they're going to take it pretty handily as well.
All right, Jonny, who do you got for the final?
I also see Leon favorites. I see a lot of youth and inexperience in Pachuca. Leon were in this position 6 months ago. I just see them as the stronger team.
All right, and Cesar, who do you got for the final?
Leon, definitely. Leon are a much more organized side. Pachuca have been much more inconsistent than Leon have been in the past. And I definitely see Leon, unless Ener Valencia could score 8,000 goals. But
well,
I don't know.
There are some notable differences. Pachuca all of a sudden can just drop it and get 3 scored on. We saw that the game right before the Liguilla when they were down, 3, and then all of a sudden also with Santos. So we know what's going on that. But we'll have to see where Leon is at. If obviously the mid is in, if they're not as tired, that has helped them out. So I think it'll be interesting. Maybe not a lot of viewership because none of the big 4 made it. Maybe not as interesting for a lot of people, but I think it's fun, and I think everyone will be watching to watch the players that are going to be with El Tri. They want to see Montes, they want to see Gullit, they want to see Vazquez, they want to see Peña. Well, Gullit Peña already said that. They want to see those players in the mid. They want to see Rafa perform well and given another chance, especially for another bicampeonato team. So we'll see what happens. The games are on Thursday and they are on Sunday. So final. And then after that, no more Liga MX. It's all about El Tri, especially with coming into the camp that they're in, and the four friendlies that are coming in, guys. So anything else on the Mexican National League?
Yeah, heavy rumors coming in today that before the national team kind of joins up in their training camp, America will present Oribe Peralta as their new signing.
Are you confirming that, sir? You're going on the record. It's going to happen.
No, I'm not.
Your sources.
I'm just
or
saying.
Is that a rumor?
I'm saying that a lot of big-time journalists are reporting that this will happen.
All right.
This seems like really ill-advised because do you really want to put that kind of stink on him right before the World Cup? I seen that being like a real concern.
Good for me. Good for Peralta. Hey, it's a big club. He's such a late bloomer. Coming in and having him. As much as I love clubs, I don't hate any other club. I'm not like the Cruz Azules and whatever. I like to see players develop and him getting out. If he does go to America, I think it's going to make it interesting of him coming in. I mean, seeing more exposure. I would like him to go to the English league, see how he does over there. That'd be great, but I think he might be a little too late. So if it does come true, great. Sorry for Santos fans to see where come in, but we'll see what happens.
Sorry to Chivas fans who.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. Omar Bravo and other than Igris, they had a total of 6 goals this season put together. Yeah, that's awesome.
I feel there's 3 key reasons for this signing for America. One, they're looking out for themselves if Raúl Jiménez is to leave to Europe, if he has a good performance in the World Cup. 2, they need another striker as it is. Antonio Rios and Tony Lopez, they're just not cutting it, so they need another one. And 3, they know Chivas are after Oribe Peralta, and what better way to piss them off?
Spite.
Yeah. Well, Cesar, don't worry. You got Andres Guardado might be coming back.
Oh yeah, that'll be great.
So he'll be coming back.
You got Carlos Bustos now.
And you
see what he can do.
You have Carlos Bustos coming in. So I mean, I'm thinking even a Cubo Torres. I mean, coming back and after killing it in the MLS.
Hey, maybe Neri Castillo will be coming back. We need a striker.
That would be amazing. We're going in. All right. Any other rumors of anybody else? Any other players? Any other big moves that are happening?
What about Blanco?
Oh, that's right. Can we just go ahead and give some spots to Cuauhtemoc Blanco?
Do you see the picture? I think he's getting tired. He's just like now he has.
It's so funny when Usain Bolt was doing it in the Olympics. All I kept thinking was Cuauhtemoc Blanco was like, he's been doing that forever.
Just in case anyone hasn't heard the news, Cuauhtemoc Blanco at 41 has signed for Puebla officially.
I applaud. I'm sorry. I'm glad that the Pacto de Caballeros didn't stop that because that was a rumor, wasn't it?
Well, it's not that they stopped it. America finally gave their approval, and they mentioned this in the day before the presentation that America was going to give the approval no matter what. So we still see the shadow of the Pacto de Caballeros in there.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's the worst rule in soccer history, the Pacto
And
de Caballeros.
and
bad.
unfortunately, MLS has that too.
Do they really?
Yeah, Hercules Gomez cannot come back to the MLS because Kansas City still owns his rights inside MLS.
Wow.
MLS is a mess, so
Lovely,
could be much worse.
Lovely. Neil, give it up for Cuauhtemoc Blanco. See what he does. See what happens.
Did we already say that he's gonna be sneaking into the team in the Israel game? Apparently,
Supposedly.
Yeah,
supposedly. How is that legal? How is that allowed? I thought.
Oh, you can do it. It's a friendly. It doesn't matter.
Yeah,
I guess so.
Doesn't have to
I
be the
guess
World
so.
Cup squad.
Doesn't have
I
to
guess
be World Cup
so.
squad.
I'm half
It's
expecting me going out there smoking a cigarette, just playing the last 10 minutes.
friendly. And you know what? He'll put a ridiculously great pass with his Cuauhtemoc comp or something.
you know what? I kind of want the Apertura final to be America Puebla and have Puebla win the championship.
with demo just for him.
Yeah, just to see him lift that trophy one more time.
Nice. Hey, he keeps going. People keep signing him. He sells a lot of shirts, and you know what? Let's see what happens. Leones Negros going into now the first division, a very, very poor team. That can't. I don't know how they're gonna afford flying everywhere. I mean, like they said, they're bringing in, but I'm pretty sure TV contracts are gonna start.
Well, they'll take the buses that we were just talking about. There you go.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, but that's good to have them there. That's good that Segunda División is finally getting. A lot of people are watching the game that I know that were excited for them to be up now.
It's a good thing that the promoted team is actually going to play in first division.
Yeah, right.
It's a big step for the league there, yeah.
And there will not be that weird playoff thing between Atlante and UDG, so it should be good. I like it. That's great. There's only one Leon, so it we'll see what happens with that. What's going on?
One of them has cooler jerseys, though.
Oh yeah, dude.
It's true.
I got to give it to them. They do have awesome jerseys. All right, guys, really quickly for Israel, that's coming up in almost 3 weeks, 2 weeks. Give me your starting 11. In mind that, the Euros are coming in 3 days before. I think they're coming in around the 26th or 25th, something around there. But let's just say the Euros, they're good. I think he's going to want to put them in, Piojo. So let's go with your starting 11. If you have them, Jonny. For the Israel game. Now, obviously, this may be different for the Cameroon game in Brazil, but who do you want to see first? Who does Piojo want to see first in their in that game?
Starting lineup would be Ochoa, Aguilar, Moreno, Marquez, Reyes, Layun, Medina, Peña, Montes, Jimenez, and Peralta.
Jimenez and Peralta. So no Euros up top.
No, not
Gio,
at
no Cheech.
Reyes, kind of my only European there, and Ochoa.
And then Medina for the DM role. Any particular reason why? I mean,
because
Cheech coming in, Guardado.
Because it's the first game of the first friendly towards the World Cup, and that's the defensive midfielder that he has had, and that has brought him stability up until now. He might. By second half or by the next game, he might change to see a couple more options. But I think he'll start off with that base.
Yeah. All right, Jason, go over to you.
I'd say Corona in goal and Aguilar, Layun. Actually, no, scratch that. I'm changing already. Guardado. I think he tries out Guardado, see what happens there. So Guardado, Massa, just because. Marquez, just because. Reyes and Layun.
No Moreno.
No, I think it's like Mazza to get a game in, and then I think you're going to see when they head to the States, Moreno to be in there and like the regular spot, but Mazza just kind of in there to get a game in Israel. And in the midfield, I'd say Vazquez and Fabian and Areta. And up front, probably, I don't know. This could, I would say some guys probably not Uribe or Cheech right now. So maybe the Jimenez Polito situation again. It'd be a little strange for Israel, I think.
Yeah. All right. Well, all kinds of different lineups. Cesar.
All right,
See
so
yours.
I got Ochoa in goal. I got Aguilar on the right, and then I've seen Massa too many times, so I'm gonna choose Moreno, Reyes,
No,
and
this is
Rafa.
not you. This is what
Yeah.
Piojo's gonna.
Oh, what he's gonna
What
choose?
he's gonna choose, which is
Oh,
completely
he's
different.
all right. Well, I'm changing this. All right. He'll put in. Yeah, I think he'll choose Ochoa then Aguilar, and then if it's what Piojo's choosing, then we'll probably see Rafa, Reyes, and Massa, and then I do think we'll see Guardado. We'll probably see Vazquez. We'll probably see. Let's see. I'm saying Montes and Peña, and then I think I'm also going to agree with Pulido and Jimenez.
All right. Finally got that top. For me, I think he's going to go, Euros are going to go, and he wants to be able to see them. I mean, they're professionals. They're not going to give him any more rest. It's not like, they've been playing so much with different type of tournaments. I think they all have one. The Liga's pretty much over. So I'm going to go with Corona, except for Ochoa. I think he's going to go with Corona right away to establish. He's my one. Corona, you have 3 games in order for you to mess it up. So you're not the starter, and we'll see how it goes. I don't even think Memo's going to be. There's not enough time in order to get that for a couple friendlies here and there. I
Kind of
think
would be the other way around. It wouldn't it's kind of assumed that like Corona is going to be starting. So wouldn't you want to give Ochoa the chance to play? Because
but he hasn't seen Corona.
But he's mentioned before that like he prefers Corona over Ochoa. So I think he should. I mean, especially if he's bringing in Ochoa from Europe, I think I'd probably see him starting him instead.
And that's where I could go the way. I'm not saying that you can't, but the way that I see it is, you know what? We only have 4 games for preparation. I need to have the guys that I think are going to be in the starting 11, and whatever don't work, then I'm going to change someone. I don't think he's in the position of saying, hey, you know what? Well, I know who's going to make it, and now I'm gonna bring in who might win it. No, I think he's going to go in right away. These are my starting 11. Let me see what works and what doesn't work. For that case, Corona's going to be in there. He's going to have Guardado, who he wants, and then Layun on the other side, moving Layun over to the other side. Reyes, Moreno, and Rafa, right? And that's when we'll see, is Reyes going to be in game? Is he not? If he is I don't know how much Israel's going to come in and really threaten that defense. They did have some pretty good games against Portugal though, so it's not like they're horrible. And then in the middle, that's where I could finally see, he just like Jonny said, he does go with Medina, but I'm liking Vazquez. I think, this weekend we'll see how Vazquez is and how he's playing, but I think he'll still probably go with Medina, with his guys. Like I said, I would like Vazquez to be there. Herrera and Montes definitely our starter, especially Montes, the way that he's been playing and he's been distributing his paws and everything. We'll see how he does against European competition. He did start him against Nigeria, which is the only FIFA friendly that we had, and obviously Herrera having an exceptional time. And then up top, Gio and Peralta. Let's get him going. I think, like I said, he's not going to give anyone unless he needs to be subbed. That's when I can see a Jimenez. That's when I can see Cheech probably be in the very first stuff, but who knows? Obviously, anything that can happen. So most of who had Corona was only Jason, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Did you have Ochoa, Cesar, right?
Mm-hmm. Ochoa.
Yeah, so Ochoa and Cesar. Well, we'll see what that goes, guys. Well, any other thoughts, guys, on the national team? Any other thoughts on what's coming up? It's going to be interesting. We're going to have so many different games. They're 2-3 days apart, so we'll see how that goes in the preparations. Piojo did lay out his schedule today at the camp on what's happening and the practices and also all the press conferences. So definitely stay tuned. But anything else, guys?
I know, like you guys talked about this in the last episode, but the thing where Pio mentioned where like all players are coming in like kind of on the same level, and that scares me. I hope that's not actually true, and that some of these players are going to be judged on like their body of work rather than like what they do versus Israel. So I really hope I assume that's just something you say, like as a coach. I'm really hoping that's true. Because if like we're really just gonna like, okay, what can Gio do versus Israel, and that's what we think of Gio, like that's gonna be bad.
No, that's all coaches. That's what you're gonna do. It has to be, because you can't just, and it goes back that you can't tell Ochoa, you know what? Well, I'm thinking Corona, so are you gonna come in? Of course he's gonna say you still have a shot, and he does. I think he obviously has Corona, but changed my mind. You know, everyone has a shot, but changed my mind. That's how I think it is. So
yeah, I think it's just a coaching technique too. I think he wants to motivate his players, and I don't think he wants certain players who are like given like Moreno or like I don't know, maybe like for example Corona. I don't think he wants them to assume that they don't have to try harder, they don't have to really care during the next few weeks while he has a camp. So I'm pretty sure he knows who his starting 11 is, but I think he just wants to motivate the players. Yeah. I hope.
No, I think that's how it is too. Just because you're in Europe doesn't mean. I mean, Aquino didn't come, so and Aquino having a great season over there, guys. Jonny, any last thoughts on the next national team in the upcoming friendlies?
Ochoa for president.
President. All right, guys. Well, I guess this is it. This has been another successful Mexican soccer show here on FutMex Live. We hope you've enjoyed it as much as we have. Please help out. Spread the word. Tweeting the link. Share it to your friends on Facebook. Like it. There's a lot of comments on there. Not that much hate around it. Tell us what we're doing right. Tell us what we're doing wrong. Get the conversation going. And also, keep talking about it out there. We love doing this. Guys, Cesar, ESPN FC, usually writes weekly, right? You have a couple of things going on?
Yeah, and I guess we're just going to be focusing in on the World Cup, obviously. And then other than that, I just, every week I just update on the Big Verde with the Mexicans abroad, cover random players like Tecatito and Anibal Zurdo, who nobody really cares about in Europe.
Who's the top scorer in Europe?
Who's the top scorer? He's joint top scorer with Carlos Vela.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. 16 goals.
In his Twitter at Cesar H. What is
10:30.
it? 10:30.
Yeah, Cesar H 10:30. Yeah.
All right, Jonny at soccerleague.com has definitely a lot of articles coming in. What are you guys working on? Getting the World Cup ready to go. You're focused mostly on the Mexican League and L3, correct?
Well, I was actually given some responsibility to organize the entire World Cup.
Cool.
Well, all right.
Whoa.
Big time.
Big time responsibility for Jonny.
I compare it to mobilizing an army, actually.
I'm sure.
Good luck with that.
And Jason at Soccer
That's actually the reason why I couldn't be inside of the office last week, where I could have plugged in my laptop. I had to be out in the lobby where there was no outlet.
Very nice. We thought you were in jail. Jason from at Soccer Mexicana usually has some pretty good articles on there. Jason, visit that website. Oh yeah, and Cesar's wearing the at Soccer. We're all friends here, even though we all don't work together. We're all friends with different types of websites. The good thing is that we're all talking about it, and we all came together to say, hey, let's keep talking about it in English. There's so much out there.
I wear that Soccer Mexicana to the swap meet every weekend.
Also, Jonny Rico works at the swap meet too on his second job.
No, that's where I shop.
Oh, okay.
That's right.
Do they sell Soccer Mexicana shirts over there?
It's a lot of publicity.
I just mail those out to random places.
Random thingies. Jason, anywhere else that we can get a hold of you?
Nowhere else.
Nowhere
you
else.
have to go to my website.
That's
Sorry.
it. And you can always find me tweeting during the games at Wiso Vazquez, also on FutMexSource.com with some of the articles that I write. Guys, this has been great. Like I said, keep talking about it, and have a fun week. We'll see where Leon or Pachuca, who makes it to be the final Mexican team to win this right before the World Cup, guys. Have a great night, and we'll see you guys in the other episode.